So now let's look at the rest of the course, which is on the Evolve site. And when you get, and you can't get onto the Evolve site until you get your textbook and workbook, because in it is going to be an access code. Don't lose that. I think it's on a yellow sheet of paper. And that will get you into the corresponding site on Evolve. The Evolve site is integrated with your textbook and workbook package. We like it because it's got a phenomenal gradebook and assignments and test giving software. So it definitely makes our experience as instructors and your experience as a student much more satisfying. And now this is the Evolve course site. This is going to be your home page that you'll always log into first. You'll see the logo so you know you're in the right spot. And this is where it will give you your grade. As you continue to take tests and complete homework assignments and quizzes, you'll see your average grade here. And what's kind of neat is it shows you how you compare to the class average. So it's January 2012, so not that many people completing tests just yet. So toward the end of the year, you'll see, better averages. And then we'll start it all over again for 2013. We'll have a different shell. These are called course shells. Now what I've done is I created a tab, Student Member Area, which should look familiar. We were just in that. This kind of makes it convenient for you to go back and forth to listening to the lectures and into the Evolve site. So really, from this point on, if you bookmark the Evolve ls for learningsystem.elsevier.com and just log in that way, you'll have access. Now you still have to use your password to get in here because this is the protected area, but normally you just have to click on that link. It's remembering it in your cookies, and you can click here and get to the lectures like everything I just showed you, but it's within this tab. When this course shell is closed, I think it's normally July of the following year, you'll lose access to your grades and stuff like that. So we do encourage you to print out your grades and reports like that, but you'll still have access to the student member area. So if you want to go back and look at the videos, you can. Look at the syllabus, you can. We're going to put some other things here as time goes on. Those will stay where you'll have access. Okay. The course tab, this is where it all happens. You'll see a repeated syllabus. We do sometimes put things in both places for the reason I just stated, that this course shell will eventually be closed, and things that we want you to have access to after it's closed, we will put in the student member area. Resources and reference material. This is for all chapters in the course. We'll put everything here so you have one convenient page to come to, and we add to this all the time, and we try and group it by logical orders. This is also going to be copied to the student member area, so you will have access to that as a student of ours. That will be indefinite access. Okay, so up here is called the breadcrumb trail. It lets you know where you are within the course. So if you go from right to left, so we're in the resources and reference material page, which is in the physician-based medical coding course, which is part of the course home, which is part of My Evolve. So if you were in two courses, My Evolve would show you the two courses. So what I do, you can hit the back button, or you can just use the breadcrumb trail and click on the link that way. Either way. We do have a discussion board where you can go in and post questions. There's just the welcome message from me so far, and you can reply to it down in the bottom here. That took me a while. I'm like, where's the reply? I'm looking up here where all these buttons are, but it's in the bottom. So you just click reply, and you can go ahead and type a response. We do encourage you to introduce yourselves. You don't have to use your full name. You can just say, hey, I'm a hopeful coder from New Jersey or something like that. And that way it's a good way to kind of meet other students that are currently going through the course. Maybe they're starting at the same time that you are. There will be some assignments that we're going to ask you to post in discussion boards, like mock board exam questions and things like that. So you will be getting graded on that, so to speak. So it's definitely worth practicing posting by posting an introduction. I'm going to go into, you can see all the chapters, all the material that you're going to be covering. And all the chapters are going to be set up the same, where you're going to have pretty much 6 to 7 items. So some students ask me, well, what's a good schedule? How much time should I devote per chapter? I would say if you devote on average a week per chapter, that would be good. You've got some really short chapters that you'll go through relatively quickly, and then some longer chapters like the Intro to ICD 9, which is chapter 8, E&M, that's a long one, the medicine one, that's a long one. Those might be 2 weekers, but for the most part, I'd say 1 week per chapter. And you can work with your coach too to tailor it to your schedule to get suggestions. So the first thing you're going to start off with are what we call the guided reading slides. And I'm going to click in there and show you what they look like. And these are actually coming from the publisher of the step-by-step book. So it's not written in my voice, it's written in Carol Buck's voice, if you will. These are optional to read. I kind of like them. They kind of like tell you, start here, read these pages, come back here. Some people are like, I just rather read the book. So you don't have to use this. But I do find multiple exposures to the same information aids retention. So I don't think it's a bad thing, but if you're pressed for time, this is the thing to skip. Now you can, click on them by clicking next and previous, or you can click expand all and do it that way. It's entirely up to you. Okay, so this is showing you how to get through chapter 1, and it's giving you an overview of the lessons. So lesson 1-1, reimbursement, HIPAA, and compliance, lesson 1-2, HIPAA, etc. Okay, now and then it ends with some chapter review and some other helpful information. So it's a slideshow. You just keep hitting next, next, next. So here she gives you some greetings, next. After completing this chapter, you should be able to, she goes over your objectives. These links here, when you click on them, open up the glossary, which is kind of cool, so that you can define that term. And it lets you know what is a definition of resource-based relative value scale. You just click the X to close it, and you can, keep this up as a separate window and, search on words however you want. Okay, it's kind of a neat little glossary there. And you can also access it from this tab here, Glossary. And it pulls it right back up. And Carol Buck is very into encouragement, so she'll have a lot of little quotes and encouragement from other coders. She likes to use motivational slides, so you'll see that too. She's kind of neat lady. I'm going to get into where she tells you to read something here. All right, so now she's getting into the first lesson. This is if you want to review the learning objectives again. Okay, so now she's saying, take some time now, so pause at this slide and read pages 1 to 8 in your text. That's why I call it guided reading. So now you have your textbook out and you read those pages, and then you come back here. So it kind of guides you through. It's like a little teacher taking you by the hand. So it's kind of neat. So that's how this step works, the guided reading slides. Again, I'm going to go to my breadcrumb trail, and I want to go back to my chapter 1. Because if I hit the back button, it's just going to go back through the slides. I want to go back to my next or my previous big jump. After you do the guided reading, and these are listed in suggested order, by the way, you do your textbook exercises, which are at the end of the chapter. They're sometimes called chapter review exercises. We've set this up so it's like a test. It's an assessment to aid in getting immediate feedback. A lot of these are fill in the blank, so watch your spelling. We try and make them not case sensitive, so if you use all caps or all lowercase or mixed, if you spelled it right and it's the correct word, you will get credit for it. And so you just click on begin now. And these are taken right from your textbook, and you just start popping in the answer in the blanks. There's no time limit on this, and if you get interrupted, you gotta go eat dinner, you get a phone call, you want to come back later, you can save and continue it later, or you can submit it. okay? And it'll immediately go into the grade book. You'll immediately get feedback to see how you've done. And at that point, if you get some wrong and you can go figure it out, then, well, you will from the rationale, you're fine to move on. But if you don't understand the rationale given, or, you know, sometimes I just give you the correct answer and it doesn't make sense to you, that's when you will email your instructor. You'll go to the student member area and you'll click on the link for instructor help. You'll say you're on chapter 1 and that you're doing the textbook exercises and blah, 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 blah. Okay? That's how to get the quickest response. We need to know who you are and where you are in the program. That will help tremendously. The video lecture, I showed you how to access that in the student member area, but this is where you get credit for it. You simply come here and it's going to ask you a true or false question. Have you viewed the video lecture for this chapter? You click true, you get credit. It's on the honor system, okay? Workbook exercises are just like textbook exercises. Now, these are for the even numbered ones only, because in your workbook in the back, you have answers to the odd numbered ones. So you can go ahead and check your answers that way. Again, if you do this and you're getting some wrong and you don't understand why, email your coach. But 99% of the time, you'll be able to figure out, you go, oh, I see what I did. And as long as you have that, like, oh, then it's fine. You got out of it what you needed to. It's not about getting 100%, okay? It's about, at the end of the day, you understood the material, okay? We have a practice exam for each chapter. What we've done is we've taken every single question in our test bank for that topic, and we said randomly show the student 25 questions. And you can do that as many times as you want. So when you're done, you hit submit. It lets you know what your score is. It's not recorded. We don't know what you're getting. It's for your use only. And that way, if you're taking the practice exam and you're getting, you know, 85%, 90, whatever your personal goals are, then you know you're ready to take the real exam. This is the one that counts, and it counts for 40% of your final grade. So you definitely want to make sure you're ready before you click on this exam button, okay? Just ignore this last one here. We were doing some tech support stuff, okay? So that's the basic outline, how every single chapter is going to be. After you're done taking that exam, you'll get an immediate score. You can move on to the next topic or take a little bit of a break. So if you look at it, you could technically on Monday do your guided reading. Tuesday, finish that up and do your textbook exercises. Wednesday, watch the video lecture. Thursday, do your workbook exercises. Friday, do your practice exam. And Saturday, take the real thing. And Sunday, have off. That could be a good typical weekly schedule. Okay? So, other things to show you is the Communicate tab. You'll be pretty much using the form in the student member area, but if you get replies to discussion board things, or we start emailing, this is where you'll come get your email. And you'll see which team you're on, you know, who's your coach. And that coach might do something a little bit differently than other coaches, and they will email their people. This is where you'll see some things. The report feature. It's kind of hard to show you since I don't have a lot of history in here, but basically what you'll be interested in to print probably is if you click grades, and I guess that's really it, and you just hit this button or the run button over to the right, same thing. It's actually going to show you everything, and it's grouped by category, so it shows you all your exams first. Okay, so chapter 1, chapter 8. Okay, we make basically everything worth 100 points, and we do it on the percentage basis, okay? And then it'll give you your category overall. So as you're taking your tests and you know they're worth 40%, you can see what your overall grade is in that. Assignments, you'll start seeing these filled in. Workbook exercise, that's for chapter 8, chapter 1, and then chapter 8. You're going to see your lectures listed here. That's all that we've put in for Mandy so far as she listened to the lecture for Chapter 1. Then when you take your midterm, you'll see your grade here and your final. So this is kind of a neat thing, and definitely we will encourage you to print that out when you're done with the course, or we can print it for you in a PDF if you don't know how, so you have that along with your certificate of completion. There's other things you can look at under learner profile. You can look at your activity logs, like how often are you coming on and doing things, which we can look at too, by the way. The number of logins, those type of things. So that is the codingcertification.org physician-based medical coding orientation. I look forward to watching you progress, and we welcome feedback, positive, negative, anything that you want to tell us, what would help you as a student to learn better from us. We're more than willing to listen to. We want you to succeed, we really do. And there's so much information out there on coding. So that's it. Happy coding, and I'll see you next time.